So we beeped it, but she's actually saying Ganja Sala, and मैं तुम्हारी नौकरी ले लूंगी. Swati Maliwal has called this a hit job. She said that this is a video distorted, edited, done without context. I'm just quoting her by a political hitman. I was going to go to Zakia, but Shubhrashtra, very quickly.
Yeah, 2 points, Barkha. I'm not going to comment much on the video. It looks fabricated. But I mean, there's no context to it. It's like it begins in media ray, ends in media ray. So I'm not going to really comment much on that. But let me tell you one thing: when these individuals talk about taking appointments from the CM, etc., they treat CM's house as if it says khala ka ghar. I would like to quote Kabir with with slight modification. Kabira yah ghar administration ka, khala ka ghar nahi. शीस उतारे भूई धरे तब बैठे घर माही. ये उनके एक अरविंद केजरीवाल के मौसी का घर नहीं है कि वो you and I are funding that house, that running of that house. Anybody, let alone an MP, anybody can enter the CM residence at their own free will. Yes, of course, there is security concerns and all of that, but I don't think Swati Maliwal was a security concern because clearly the entire paraphernalia allowed Swati Maliwal to enter.
Okay,
so this
let me.
Party saying that she has to follow certain protocol and all of that. Last I heard, this was Aam Aadmi Party and not Khas Aadmi Party, right? So everything in this.
Let me come in with just some thoughts. Let me come in with some thoughts. Got your point. Zakia and Abhijit and Ravi have been waiting patiently, so let's quickly go to them. Zakia, this video could have been released by the Aam Aadmi Party on the day that this allegation was made, right? I'm just using my common sense. They have made the video as the basis of. They're basically rejecting a woman's very detailed FIR on assault, on brutality, on her shirt being deliberately pulled up, which actually then qualifies as a sexual harassment complaint as well, on her being hit on her chest and pelvis. Now, the AAP could have released this video initially. Instead, they actually acknowledged कि बहुत गलत हुआ है, condemnable है, inquiry है. Then we saw Vivek Kumar traveling with Arvind Kejriwal when he arrived here, where I am, to Lucknow for a press conference. So I guess a lot of people in our audience are also asking कि अगर झूठ था तो आपने पहले क्यों नहीं बोला कि ये झूठ है? पहले क्यों माना कि सच है? अब क्यों बोल रहे हैं झूठ? What do you make of this? Because as Shubhrashtra said, my instinct, like hers, like yours, is to believe a woman. When a woman comes out in the public domain and says, I was beaten, I was hit, my shirt was deliberately pulled, it doesn't matter which party she's affiliated with, my instinct is to believe the woman. But the AAP has released this video to say that the video suggests otherwise. The question is, because everything is political in election season, the question is, why didn't the AAP just say so on the first day instead of saying something quite different? What do you make of it, Zakia?
So there are conflicting versions, and it appears that there is more than meets the eye. So the bottom line is that Swati Maliwal has complained about an assault, and the complaint should be taken seriously and it should be thoroughly investigated. That should be done. That's the bottom line. I want to make a larger point that, we have this sad reality in our country where violence against women is a fact of life. Be it assaults, be it rapes, be it mass rapes, gang rapes, sexual harassment, this is a fact of life. And the politicization of the incidents, which is invariably supposed to be to the advantage of the women, it is supposed to be providing protection to the women, it's supposed to build solidarity of women, cutting across party lines, cutting across ideologies, cutting across the left and the right, but it doesn't happen like that. It happens, the politicization happens in a very, very ugly way, such that the woman is put under a question mark. That is my problem. Because today it is Swati Maliwal, yesterday it was the wrestler women, earlier it was somebody else in UP. We have heard what has happened in Sandesh Khali. So it's an incessant kind of a phenomena in our country where women are not safe, where women are not secure, and particularly women in public life. Women who are those who are in social service, those who are in politics, those who are interacting with so many people and are in very uncertain circumstances. So they are undergoing these kind of assaults, and instead of taking the woman's complaint on face value and investigating it, believing the woman, we are always, politicizing it to deny that the incident happened, or we are politicizing it to have a selective kind of an outrage. So I can very
I
well
think, I think,
understand up going back, doing flip flops, and I can also equally understand the sympathizers of BJP coming out very openly to support Swati. So this is the problem in our country, and the key issue about women's safety and security. Most political parties, and I'm sorry to say, most affiliates of political parties are really not serious about. And it will always, now it will become AAP versus BJP.
I
Swati
think you made a
Maliwal
very, I think you made the critical point that people don't know what to believe, Abhijit, in a election season, right? Even those who instinctively believe or want to believe women do believe women. That's how we are conditioned. We're actually conditioned differently. We're conditioned to believe women all the time. And when I read the FIR, it was horrible to read. The FIR was just simply horrible with the level of detail that it talks about being slapped 7 times, being, the shirt being deliberately pulled up, being hit in the pelvis area. And then came this video. And there are contradictions. And I think Zakia is absolutely right that the noise that we make on a Prajwal Revanna, when I say we, I'm saying we loosely. I like to think I make equal noise for all. But Brij Bhushan, Prajwal Revanna, the women of Manipur, and now Swati Maliwal, it all seems to depend on people's political leanings. And how do we then begin to have an authentic conversation, a conversation with integrity, when everything is so filtered through the prism of politics? That's the larger point. But coming on the specifics of this, Abhijit, what's your take?
Thanks, Barkha. So I've generally been consistent on this. I think you can go through any of these studies that have come out, which show that, women also tend to lie almost as much as men. Women tend to be a lot less physically violent than men, but they tend to lie almost as much as men do. Which is why, when there are these hashtags that say believe her and things like that, I do not. I only believe the evidence. Unfortunately, that is not what Indian law is. Indian laws are extremely gynocentric. They place the burden of proof on the man, and it's basically a presumption of guilt if a woman accuses you. This is what happens in all cases: dowry, physical assault, etc., etc., etc. That said, it's very telling what has happened between Swati and Arvind Kejriwal and this Bibhav chap. I think both you and I know a whole bunch of people who have told us in the past that Bibhav has a long record of doing this. This isn't part of the public record, but we've been hearing this for what, the last 5, 6, 7 years about Bibhav's behaviors towards women, his acceptance of certain particularly nasty words, which I'm not going to use, his acceptance of physical assaults against women, etc., etc., etc. He doesn't do it, but he's been very accepting of it. And both Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal, when they've been complained to about these episodes, which we both know about, have been very accepting of it and refused to take action about it in the past. This is number one. Number two, did you notice Atishi had access to all the CCTV in the chief minister's house? She chose to show none of it. All she gave us was a statement. A statement isn't proof. That video proves nothing. It just shows a woman sitting in a sofa, so far unharmed. We can't even make out if she's completely unharmed because she's just sitting there. Physical bruises and things like that, you have to come up close to the camera and see that there's bruising or bleeding or whatever out there. Very frequently, bruising takes a good 2-3 hours to start showing up and so on and so forth. We don't know what part of the sequence this is in. The assault could have happened before this. The assault could have happened after this. It could have been a multi-pronged assault. Remember, she called up the police from the chief minister's house, not once but twice. The first time Kejriwal was accused, the second time he was not. To date, not one person from the AAP has shown us any of the CCTV. They are the first people who have access to that CCTV across the entire house. There are many ways of extrapolating what happened. It doesn't, sure, you're not going to have CCTVs in the bedroom inside a chief minister's house and things like that. But there's many ways of extrapolating what happened inside, outside. None of that has been done. Third, I think we have to understand assault can be very traumatic. You take time and then go complain about it. It doesn't actually mean anything if you haven't complained about it immediately. Things take time to process. I have worked with assault victims in the past, true, not in India, with Aboriginal communities in Australia. And there, the assaults used to be grievous physical assaults, which used to take 3-4 days for the women just to process before they went and complained about it. So I'm not buying any of this. I would say, sure, I don't believe in gynocentric laws. I don't believe in hashtag believe her. That said, the AAP is not coming smelling of roses in this at all. They could have given us evidence, they did not. And then you have Sanjay Singh coming on record and admitting a one-sided narrative, which was Vibhavav assaulted and used in his quote unquote abhadra shabd, abhadra cheezein hui इनके साथ स्वाति के साथ.
Right. But you know, Abhijit, the larger debate will continue about political selectiveness or outrage selectiveness, and we'll come back to that. Ravi, you've been waiting patiently. Go ahead. You argued on Twitter that the case that Swati Maliwal has made isn't going to fold. What was your basis to say that?
Barkha, first of all, I did write it, and I can make out. And this is what when I wrote it, that time the video had not surfaced. Now video has surfaced. And the position Aam Aadmi Party has now taken is, I think, almost 180-degree what they had said earlier. As far as Sanjay Singh's statement is concerned, there was never a word assault. That is a narrative created by some motivated people. He said abhadrata, indecency and misbehavior. There is no mention of any kind of assault over there. Now, I come to the video. Just one part. I'm not saying that video is absolutely true. It will go to the FSL for the analysis, and whether it is edited, doctored, whatever has happened will come out. But one part I can say is, she had already made one call to the PCR when she is sitting over there. And she is sitting with one leg over another, absolutely with ease, comfort, looking very aggressive and threatening people of the Delhi police only. Who Delhi police is only providing security at CM's office. Nowhere in the complaint or statement she has mentioned what was her purpose of going to the CM's house at 9 o'clock in the morning without having an appointment.
But why does she
These
have to
are
mention
all
that?
things.
She's a member of parliament going to meet her party leader. Why does she? Why are we there? I
No.
agree with Shubhrashtra. Why are we
No,
making
no,
so
no,
much
no.
about the fact
No,
that she
no,
went without an appointment?
you cannot
Okay.
enter in the house of a chief minister without an appointment. She is not a family member. Yeah, one has to declare it, one has to take the appointment, and she has what AAP has said now. She threatened even the security at the gate for entering. She threatened the security while sitting in the drawing room. So what I want to say is that, and such cases, let me tell you very frankly, although 164 CRPC statement has already been made, so she cannot backtrack now. And now the whole thing, the evidence has to be produced to corroborate this whole episode. And that should be hard, incontrovertible evidence. It's not going on the word of mouth for complaint anyway. So this is the situation.
That part is true. It applies to both sides. Neither can the AAP have the final word on Swati Maliwal, nor can Swati Maliwal. The court of law will decide that. Both Abha and Shubhrashtra hands up. Abha, you wanted to add to this whole business about the emphasis on reaching the chief minister's house without an appointment. Yeah.
I feel Sanjay Singh in the beginning, of course, did not talk of sexual harassment. He said abhadrata. That would be trying to give a message to her that, look, we are all one party. You are our MP in Rajya Sabha. So if we can patch up, trying to work it out that way. But now when she has taken opposite side, and so they have come out with the video. That could be one reason. Secondly, under the IPC, there is one section called 159, which is affray. If you remember, Preeti Zinta had put a sexual harassment case on Nes Wadia in the cricket stadium, and at that time I had said that it is a brawl and affray which you are giving a color of sexual assault. So we cannot say that it is our instinct to believe a woman. You have to go on facts. This is same Delhi police which did not write an FIR in Brij Bhushan. Brij Bhushan they did not write an FIR. So I will not go by what they have written. Evidence and facts have to be put forward.
Okay, your point about Brij Bhushan and the Delhi police not even opposing his bail is absolutely well taken. The point of them dragging their feet is absolutely well taken. I am with you on that. But this section, no one has called it a sexual assault. I just wanted to
No, but
say
the
that
charge is Barkha
today,
354D.
because
Disrobing.
he's एक
354.
minute एक minute I am saying till the FIR said that her shirt was deliberately raised, nobody had called it a sexual assault. It was being called as an assault, a physical assault, right? Today you are correct in saying that that charge has now been added because she has clearly said I was hit in my pelvis area and my shirt was deliberately raised. Now your point about Brij Bhushan is absolutely correct, and I want to take that to Shubhrashtra. The reason that everybody is so cynical, nobody knows what to believe, not even, women like us can come together and say we always stand with women is because elections hai. And there is a brazen selectiveness. The same police that went slow with Brij Bhushan, his son gets a ticket as a proxy for him. The same sort of system that drags its feet on bringing a Prajwal Revanna back from Germany. He's actually been accused of rape. And then to have more media outside Swati Maliwal's house than ever bothered to go to Manipur where women were raped. This is why people are cynical, Shubhrashtra, the selectiveness of it all.
Barkha, I am not here to ask the media or to expect the media to do anything which suits my politics. Why is media gathering at Arvind Kejriwal's house is a question that the Editors Guild should answer. I am not going to answer on that. My problem is with what Ravi Srivastava said. He said that drawing room के अंदर जा करके भी उन्होंने किया, gate पर भी किया. My question to Ravi Srivastava is, if Swati Maliwal had come with the intent of disturbing the peace and quiet of the honorable chief minister's house, then why did the security at the gate allow her in the very first place?